Hello teachers, learners, and parents. Sir Jeff po, at your service. Alam nyo ba na meron tayong website na tinatawag na DepEd Commons? Ang DepEd Commons ay binuo upang gawing accessible ang pagtuturo at pag-aaral dito sa ating bansa gamit lamang ang inyong mga smart devices gaya ng cellphones, tablets, at computers. Dito ay maaari nating ma-access ang iba't ibang learning materials mula sa Department of Education. Meron itong mga interactive materials, electronic self-learning modules, at instructional video lessons mula sa DepEd TV na tiyak na makatutulong sa pag-aaral ng mga mag-aaral galing ka man sa public o private school. Walang problema dahil welcome ang lahat dito. Para ito sa mga guro, magulang at mga mag-aaral mula sa kinder hanggang grade 12, alternative learning system o ALS, at pati na rin ang special education. At huwag kang mag-alala dahil kahit walang load ay maaari mong ma-access ang mga learning materials. Tama! Libre ito. Ang kailangan mo lamang gawin ay i-on ang iyong data at buksan lamang ang iyong browser at i-type ang commons.deped.gov.ph. Alam na ba ng iyong mga kasamahang guro o mag-aral ang tungkol sa DepEd Commons? I-share mo na ang video na ito upang matuto rin sila kung paano gagamitin ang DepEd Commons sa mabilis at napakadaling paraan. Muli, ito po si Sir Jeff at kita-kits po tayo sa DepEd Commons. Paalam!
Mabuhay! Isang mapagpalang araw sa ating lahat. Ako ang inyong lingkod, Tutor Madge. Welcome sa ating ETUlay, ang ating libreng online tutorial na hatid ng ating kagawaran ng edukasyon, ICTS EdTech. Ang programang ito ay inaasahang makatutulong at maging karagdagang kaalaman sa mga mag-aaral mula kinder hanggang senior high school, ALS, Alive, at SPED learners. Bukod sa pagsagot ng mga modules, ang ETUlay ay may mga special programs din na siguradong aabangan ninyo araw-araw. Katuwang ang ating mga minamahal na mga magulang at guro ay maitutulay natin ang pagkatuto. Kaya, ihanda na ang inyong module, lapis, papel o kwaderno. Ihanda rin ang isip, mata at tenga sa isa na namang makabuluhang aralin. Tayo nang matuto kasama ang inyong volunteer online tutor sa oras na ito.
Okay. Live na po. Ayan, okay. So, good afternoon sa inyong lahat. Magandang hapon sa lahat ng mga manonood, especially sa ating mga dear grade 6 students. Good afternoon. And of course, sa ating mga supportive teachers and parents na rin as well. So, welcome for another math day, ngayong Friday, sa ating DepEd ETUlay online tutorial for grade 6 mathematics. Ayan. Okay? So bago muna tayo magsimula ng ating discussion this day, ay hayaan nyo muna kung parangalan muna natin ang ating mga duties of the week noong week 2, last week. Okay, so sino-sino nga ba ang mga yan? So sila ay mga sumagot sa ating homework last meeting. No? Sila ay sina Jeric Johan Ramirez, ang ating mga soulmates, si Enaj Erica J. Galang, John Vincent A. Gadi, Ian Gale R. Dilay, Nerwin P. Negal Jr., talaga mga suking-suking mga soulmates na natin ito eh. Sina Gracie N. Kionisala, Gwyneth Angeline L. Tolentino, Maria Erian May B. Zacarias, Adrian Ray D. Rivera, Maria Riana Mitisha T. Sempron, si Princess Lorraine T. Del Rosario, at syempre ang kahuli-hulihan si Henry Stephen P. Kadapan. So muli, congratulations sa ating mga solvents. So ano nga ba yung ating solutions and answers to our homework last week? So ito yun. Homework. The product of two numbers is 192. If the ratio of the two numbers is 4:3, what are the two numbers? Ayan. So we can put this problem in a context that involves area of a rectangle. Since pinag-uusapan ng product. Okay, so paano yun? So the area of the rectangle is 192 square centimeters. And the ratio of its length to its width is 4:3. So again concept siya ng area ng rectangle. So if you visualize that, you can see a rectangle there. That is the rectangle whose area is 192 square centimeters. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you have 4 units. And we have here 1, 2, 3. We have here 3 units. So therefore, we will have a 4x3 rectangle. Now, we have there 1 unit or 1 square unit for each. So therefore, we have here 12 square units or square centimeters particularly. So the area is 12 by 1 square unit. That is equivalent to 192 square centimeters. So therefore, to get the value of 1 square unit, to find the measure of 1 square unit in centimeters, we will have to divide 192 by 12. So that is 192 square centimeters divided by 12. So that is equivalent to 16 square centimeters. So we can say that 1 square unit is 16 square centimeters. So we can say now that 1 unit is equal to 4 centimeters. Since if we try to square 4, that is 4 times 4, and that's equal to 16. Now, looking at the given, so the ratio of the length to the width is 4:3. So therefore, we can say that the length can be get by multiplying 4 by 4 centimeters. And that's equivalent to 16 centimeters. Then, similarly, ganun din ang gagawin natin sa width. So since our width is 3, so we multiply that by 4 centimeters. So therefore, we will arrive at 12 centimeters. So therefore, we are looking for the product of two numbers whose ratio is 4:3. So therefore, meron tayong 16 and 12. And those are the numbers. Since if we try to simplify 16:12 by dividing both sides by 4, or both numbers by 4, you'll be having 4:3. Ayan. Okay. So let's have our lesson for today. For our quarter 2, week 3, finding the percentage, base, and rate in a given problem. So as of this moment, ako muna ang mag-isa mag-tutor for today. So hopefully, makasama ko na si Tutor Prince next meeting. So muli, ako po ang inyong Math Bay, Tutor Andre. So solo flight muna tayo ngayong araw na ito. Okay, so again, special thanks to our division office sa pagpapahiram po sa ating module na ginamit po natin for our session for today. Maraming salamat po from the authors, editors, reviewers, illustrator, layout artists, and management team. Maraming salamat po. Okay, so in our lesson for today, ano-ano nga ba mga objectives natin for our lesson? So after going through this module, you are expected to identify the percentage, rate, and base in a given problem. Second, find the base, percentage, or rate, or percent in a given problem. And of course, syempre, hindi mawawala sa mathematics. We're going to solve routine and non-routine problems involving the percentage, rate, and base using appropriate strategies and tools. Ayan. Okay. So bago muna tayo magsimula, my dear students, let's have a recap of what you have learned in your previous lessons. So review muna tayo. Ayan. So for this exercise or for this review, I have prepared here 4 items. So una, you have changing percent to decimals and fractions. And second, you have multiplication and division of decimals. For our first set of items, you are going to change the following percent to decimals and fractions. So again, dalawa ang sagot nyo for each item. Una, the decimal, and the second is the fraction. Then, second set of items, you are going to perform the indicated operation. So again, that is involving multiplication and division of decimals. Sige. So I'll be giving you maybe 2 minutes to give me the answers for each item. So hopefully, masagutan nyo yung 4 na yan within 2 minutes. Okay? So maghihintay po tayo ng sagot. So for the meantime, habang hinintay natin mga sagot, ayan nyo muna kung mag-shoutout sa ating mga avid viewers every Friday. So sisimulan ko sa pinakasimula. So una po kay Ma'am Nina Sherry Liwanag. Good afternoon. Watching from Abangan Sur Elementary School. Good afternoon po, Ma'am Nina. Ayan, si Kevin Martin Doluntap. Good afternoon po. Watching from Sorsogon East Central School, Sorsogon City. Grade 6 SSES Advisor, Ma'am Jessica Ramiscal. Ayan, good afternoon, Kevin Martin. So, ganoon din po. Kay Ellen Balingit Estakaan, good afternoon. Kay Kalara Shaira Eam, good afternoon po. Kay Francesca Maxine Alcantara, good afternoon po. Watching from Abangan Sur Elementary School. Kay Kerubin Gabriel, good afternoon po. Watching from SDOQC. Ayan. Kay Nalaika Alea, good afternoon. Watching from San Roque Central Elementary School, San Roque District, Davao City. Siya ay grade 6, Lapu-Lapu. Ayun. Okay, syempre hindi pa rin mawawala yung ating mga avid viewers, yung ating mga soulmates. Ayan, so batiin ko rin, iba, sina Siljan Evans Ofracio, watching from Marilao. Wow, all the way from Marilao. North District, Marilao, Bulacan. NCIS. Ayan. Si Ken Rayson, good afternoon po, watching from Estrella Bella Luz Elementary School, San Mateo South District. Okay, at syempre huli na lang bago tayo magsagot. So si JB Lawrence Braselino. Good afternoon, watching here from grade 6, Diego Silang, San Roque Central Elementary School, San Roque District, Davao City Region 11. Thank you very much. Wow, all the way from Davao City. Okay, sige. So I think tapos na yata ang lahat. So let's check whether you answer the questions correctly. By the way, so una, ito muna tayo sa change the following percent to decimals and fractions. So paano ka ba mag-change ng percent to decimals? So una, para mag-change ng percent to decimals, so first is, you're going to remove the percent sign. So tanggalin muna natin ang percent sign. And you are going to move the decimal point 2 places to the left. So since ang decimal point ng 8 ay matatagpuan sa right side ito, so therefore we just simply move the decimal point 2 places to the left. So that is 1, 2. And since meron tayong spaces, we have to put or annex zeros. So yan, and also on the left of the decimal point. So therefore, 8% in decimals is 0.08. Or that is read as 8 hundredths. So dahil nabanggit ko na rin ang 800, sundan na rin natin siya ng fraction. So syempre, ang 0.08 or 8 hundredths in fractions, kaya nga 8 hundredths, kasi that is written as 8 over 100. Pero dahil ang fractions ay kailangan naka-simplest form, so we need to simplify 8 over 100. So paano ang gagawin natin? We just simply divide both numerator and denominator by the GCF. So ang GCF ng 8 and 100 is 4. So therefore, you have 8 divided by 4 and 100 divided by 4. So therefore, you have 2 over 25. So that is the final answer. So therefore, your answer should be 2 over 25. Okay. So hopefully, kids, nakuha niyo po ang mga tamang sagot. So may mga, iilan lang ako nakita na tama. Kasi may mga iba nagsagot. So hopefully nakuha niyo yung tamang sagot, 8 over 100 or 0.08. Okay, susundan natin sa number 2. So similar din ang ginawa natin sa number 1. So you just simply remove the percent sign and just move the decimal point 2 places to the left. So therefore, magiging 1, 2, ayan. So may decimal point naman tayo sa 92.5%. So therefore, we just annex the 0 on the left side. So therefore, 92.5% in decimals is 0.925 or 925 thousandths. Ayun. Naintindihan po ba? So, sana po naintindihan ng lahat. And since nabanggit ko na rin ng 925 thousandths, so therefore, we just have the fractional part. So that is 925 over 1,000. So when you simplify 925 over 1,000, so take note they are both divisible by, okay, I think this is 25, I suppose. So let's see. So if you divide 925 by 25, and similarly 1,000 by 20, so makakakuha tayo ng sagot na 37 over 40. So the final answer is 37 over 40. Nagkakaintindihan? So sana po ay nakuha niyo yung tamang sagot. Okay, nakikita ko may mga nakakuha naman ng correct answers, but make sure lang kids na you are going to change or reduce the fraction to lowest terms. Yes. Patulad yan, nakuha naman nila Cyril, nila Roxeline, nila Enaj, si Trisha Denise, ayan. So hopefully, nakuha niyo yung tamang sagot. Okay, let's proceed to multiplication and division of decimals. So, syempre, we need to multiply, number 1, 0.25 by 30 or 25 hundredths times 30. So, paano ulit mag-multiply? So, para lang siyang whole number. So, you take the numbers as whole numbers. So, that is 0.25 times 30. So, we can have like this, 0.25 times 30. So, now this, nilabas ko lang yung isang 0 para mas mabilis tayo makapag-solve. So, pwede ko na i-bring down yung 0 dito. Then you have to multiply 0.25 by 3. So that is 5 times 3, 15, carry 1, 3 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7, then 3 times 0 is 0. And since in our given factor, 0.25 and 30, meron tayong total na 2 decimal places. So we also do that in our answer. So we have to move the decimal point 2 places to the left. So that's 1 and 2. So therefore, we just cancel the 0 here on the end and on the left side. So we arrive at the answer 7.5 or 7 and 5 tenths. Ayan. So kung nakuha niyo yung tamang sagot, very good kayo. Ayan. So nakita ko, tama rin yung sagot ni na Kevin Martin, ni na Ella Alicer. Ayan. Very good. Sina Arian Miles. Wow. Mga bagong students ito mga new names ang aking binabasa. Ayan. Yung ating mga soulmates pa rin as usual. Nandiyan pa rin sina Jeric Johan, Enaj. Ayan. Okay, so sundan natin sa number 2. So how do we divide 120 by 0.75 or 120 by 75 hundredths? So since we have a decimal divisor, so kailangan mong palitan yung divisor into a whole number. So we just simply move the decimal point of the divisor 2 places to the right. And since nag-move tayo ng decimal point 2 places to the right. So we also do the same thing in the dividend. So yung 120, mag-move din tayo ng 2 decimal places to the right. So we just simply annex 2 zeros. So therefore, our new division statement will be, or division expression will be 1,2000 or 12,000 divided by 75. So if we divide that, so that is 1. 1 times 75 is 75. Subtract 75 from 120, that is 45. So we bring down the 0. So we have 450 or 450 divided by 75, and that is 6. So therefore, you have 6 times 75, that is 450. So 450 minus 450 is 0. And then we just simply move the last 0 up, and we'll arrive at the quotient 160. So the final answer here is 160. Okay, if you got the correct answer, then very good kayo lahat. Okay, so bakit nga ba kailangan natin i-review ito? Kasi i-apply natin siya sa ating lesson 4 today. Ayan. So before we have our lesson, so let's figure out first some definition of terms. So syempre, bago lang sa inyo yung term na percentage base and rate. I think tinuro naman siya nung kayo grade 5, no? Pero kung nakalimutan niyo na ulit, i-familiarize ulit natin yung terms na yan. So ano nga bang ibig sabihin ng percentage, base, and rate? So again, percentage, when you say percentage, it is the actual amount that represents part of a whole. So kumbaga may pangkalahatan, kukuha ka lang doon ng parte. Yun yung tawag doon ay percentage. So it can be found given the percent or the rate and the whole amount or the base. So mamaya malalaman natin kung paano pagko-compute ng percentage. Next, rate. Rate, it is the ratio of the percentage to the base. So when you say ratio, so we are talking about quotient. So it's the quotient of the percentage to the base. So para madaling matanda ng ang rate, so it is written in percent or it is usually written in percent. So laging may percent sign kapag pinag-uusapan ang rate. Okay, next, base. Ano naman ang base? So it is the amount representing 100%. Kumbaga, yun yung pangkalahatan. Ayan. Kabuuan. Totality, ika nga, no? So it is the whole from which a percent is taken from. Ayan. Okay. So let's have our first lesson. So alam niyo na dapat ang terms ng percentage, rate, and base. So simulan muna natin sa lesson number 1, which is finding the percentage in a given problem. So paano nga ba ang pagkuha ng percentage sa given problem? Ayan. So para maintindihan po natin, let's have a sample problem. So read and study this problem. So our problem today has an hashtag, plantitang si AC. Ayan. Okay, let's read and study this problem. 25% of Daisy's 20 potted plants are peppers. The question is, how many potted plants are peppers? Ayan. So, analyze natin ha. So, yan yung problem natin. So, hopefully, nabasa nyo na yung problem ng maigi. Okay, so isa-isay natin. So, in our case, this is a word problem. So, we are going to use the 4-step problem to answer the problem. Okay, so, we have first step, understand what information are given. So, obviously, we know that there are 20 potted plants and 25% of these are peppers. Ayan. So, take note of that ha. So, 25% daw ng 20 potted plants are peppers. Okay, next. What is asked in the problem? So, obviously, kitang-kita naman sa problem. So, we need to find how many potted plants are peppers. Okay, so ilan nga ba yung mga potted plants? Next, so this is a part of the total number of potted plants. So since we are getting only the part of the whole or the part of the total number, so therefore we are going to look for the percentage. Yan. So dyan papasok yung percentage. So we need to find how many potted plants are peppers. Okay. So we can use different methods to solve the given problem. So I'll be showing you 3 methods. So ayan, may mga iba nakikita ko nagsasagot na. Ang sagot daw nila ay 5 peppers. Karamihan ng mga nagsagot ay 5. So ang nauna, base sa pagkakita ko ay C, cherubim. Siyempre, karamihan na din ng mga sumunod sa kanya ay sumagot na rin ng 5 peppers. So let's see kung tama nga ba ang 5 peppers. So let's use method number 1 using a block model. So parang kaninang ginawa natin sa ating homework, so gagamit tayo ng block model. So we will divide the whole block or the 100% into 4 equal parts. Why 4 equal parts? Since if we divide 100% by 4, that's equivalent to 25%. So yan. So the whole or the 100% block represents the total number of potted plants. So that is 20. So we will be looking for 25% of the whole number of potted plants. Ayan. So ayan. So meron ka ng 25% for each. Hinati siya sa 4. Then that is represented by 20 potted plants. Now, you're only going to get the 25% of the total or the 20 potted plants. So ang tanong, ilang peppers nga ba yon? So therefore, for our solution, so 100% is represented by 20. So if you get 25%, that is we divide 20 by 4. And if you divide 20 by 4, that's equivalent to 5. So therefore, the answer is there are 5 plotted plants that are peppers. So tama ang inyong sagot. Very good. Ayan. Gagaling ng ating mga kids. Okay, that's method number 1. Next, method number 2. Ano method number 2? Expressing percent to fraction. So 25% of plotted plants. So we get 25% of 20 since the total number of the plotted plants are 20. So we need to find out how many plotted plants are pepper. And so therefore we are going to get 25% of 20. So obviously, since meron tayong word na of, so the word of usually that represents multiplication. So therefore, we are going to multiply 25% by 20. So therefore, we can express 25% as a fraction katulad ng ginawa natin kanina. So that is 25 over 100 multiplied by 20. So obviously, if you simplify that, so that is 1/4 times 20, since 25 over 100 is 1/4 in simplest form. So you now multiply 1/4 by 20. So obviously, you may do the cancellation. So you may cancel 20 and 4. So if you cancel 20 and 4, so 20 and 4 are both divisible by 4. So 20 will become 5 and 4 will become 1. So therefore, just simply multiply the numerators. So 1 times 5. And obviously, this is over 1. So you have 1 times 1. So you have 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 1 is 1. So you have 5 over 1 or simply 5. So therefore, 5 is our answer. Tama pa din ang sagot natin. Okay, so that's method number 2. Susundan naman yan ng ating method number 3. So you may express the percent as a decimal. So again, 25% of plotted plants. So that's 25% of 20. So 25%, when you convert that to decimal, that is 0.25. So therefore, meron kang 25 hundredths times 20. And if you do the multiplication, of course, that is equivalent to 5. So for the sake of everyone, I'll be showing it. So that's 0.25 times 20. So again, bring down the 0 here. 5 times 2 is 10, carry 1. 2 times 3 is 4. Plus 1 is 5. And then we have the 0 here. And you have 2 decimal places. 1, 2. Then we just simply remove the 2 zeros there and the 0 on the left of 5. So 5 ang ating magiging sagot. So still, there are 5 plants that are peppers. Okay, very good. So that is how to find the percentage. So using a formula for this, so if we consider the problem earlier, then we may arrive at this question. 25% of 20 is what number? So take note of this. So you can have this statement or question. 25% of 20 is what number? So from this given question, so of course 25% is the rate since it has the percent sign. 20 is the base since that's the total number of the plotted plants. And of course the what number or the missing number is of course the percentage. Ayan. So therefore, we can arrive the formula for that. So that is percentage equals to rate times base. Or in symbols, that's P equals to R times B. Okay, so that's how to find the percentage. You just simply multiply the rate by the base. So again, for checking, each method gives us the same answer. So yung kaninang method natin, block model, then changing the percent to fractions and changing the percent to decimals. We have the same answer. Okay, so hopefully naintindihan niyo na pang lesson 1. Let's proceed to lesson 2. Finding the rate or percent in a given problem. So tapos na tayo sa percentage. Let's now proceed to rate or percent. So how do you find the rate or percent in a given problem? Okay, so to find out how, let us consider this problem shown on your screens right now. So again, read and study this problem. Hashtag a headdress tayo. Ayan. So sa mga hindi po nakakalam or sa ngayon pa lang nakakalam ng a headdress. So ang a headdress po is the Tagalog term for chess. Ayan. So now you know. A headdress is chess. Okay. So, tingnan natin ang problem. So a school chess club has 50 members. 29% or 29 of them rather. 29 of them are girls. What percent of the chess club are girls? Ayan. So a school chess club has 50 members. 29 of them are girls. What percent of the chess club are girls? So we need to find out the percent of the chess club that are girls. So again, we'll use the 4-step problem to answer the problem. So what information are given? So obviously, you know that 29 out of the 50 members of the school's chess club are girls. Then what is asked in the problem? So we need to find out how many percent of the chess club are girls. Ayan. Yun yung kailangan natin malaman, syempre. And of course, since we are looking for the percent, so obviously, we are looking for the rate. Because if you remember earlier, to find out the rate, we usually have a percent sign. So since wala namang given a percent, so we have to look for the rate. Okay. So we can use again different methods to solve the problem. So let's start with method 1. So again, we'll be using a block model. So let's have that. So again, the total number of members in the chess club is equal to 100%. Kung pangkalahatan na yan. So the whole block is 100%. And we can say that 50 members is equal to 100%. So that is 50 members. Now, we will determine what percent or rate of 50 is 29. So therefore, if that is 50, so we get 29 members. And we need to find out what percent of 29, or what percent of 50 rather, is 29. Okay, so in our case, what we're going to do is to divide the 50 members by 50, and also we will divide 100% by 50. So bakit nga ba kailangan natin divide by 50? Let's find out. So therefore, we can say that 50 members is equivalent to 100%. So therefore, if we divide them by 50, so you'll have 50 members divided by 50. That is the representation of 100% divided by 50 as well. So magiging 1 member is equal to 2%. So ibig sabihin, kada isang miyembro or member ng chess club, that is represented by 2%. So since we are looking for the percent, if you have 29 members, the next step to do is to multiply both numbers by 29. Siyempre, kailangan mo malaman kung ilang percent yung 29 members. So, anong gagawin natin? So, 1 member is 2%. So, we multiply them both by 29. So, 1 member times 29 is equivalent to 2% times 29. So, therefore, that is 29 members. That's equivalent to 58%. So, therefore, 58% of the chess club are girls. So I think sa pagkakita ko sa ating comment box, sa ating FB Live, nakuha po karamihan ang tamang sagot. So very good sa inyo lahat. Alam nyo na napakagaling na talaga mga students. Nakakatawa talaga kayo. Okay, so let's proceed to method number 2. So let's use the concept of equivalent fractions o yung tinatawag natin na yung concept ng proportion. Di ba natutunan nyo na yung proportion dun sa lesson namin ni Tutor Prince, yung mga last meeting, di ba? So let's have this. So 29 out of the 50 members are girls. So that's represented by 29 over 50. So to solve for the rate, we will express it as a fraction with a denominator of 100. So dyan tayo makakabuo ng proportion. So ayan po yung mangyayari. So 29 over 50, that is equivalent to blank over 100. So bakit nga ba natin kinuha na yung over 100? O bakit tayo nagkaroon ng fraction over 100? Kasi nga, will be determining the percent. Kasi di ba, kaya nga percentage, percent, per 100. So therefore, your denominator is 100. So we need to find out the missing numerator. So paano ang gagawin natin? So you will use the concept of proportion. So kung natatanda ninyo, so meron tayong 29 over 50 is equal to blank over 100. So napapansin niyo yung 50, pag minultiply sa 2, magiging 100. So dahil nag-multiply tayo ng 2 sa 50, so you will also do the same thing with the numerator. So yung 29, mamumultiply din by 2. So 29 times 2. And 29 times 2 is equivalent to 58. And of course, that will become 58 over 100, which is equivalent also to 58%. And therefore, 58% of the chess club are girls. Ayan. So that is method number 2. You can also use another method, and that is by using a formula. Okay, so ano nga ba yung formula na gagamitin natin? So again, let's consider the problem earlier. So you may form this question. What percent of 50 is 29? Ayan. So what percent of 50 is 29? Okay, so in our case, again, since you are looking for the percent, so that's your rate, and that's missing. So you have 50, that's the base, since in the total number of the students in the chess club, rather, in the students in the chess club, yung pangkalahatan, or in totality. And of course, 29 is your percentage, the number of girls in the chess club. Okay, now, so from the formula P equals to R times B, we'll be deriving the formula and finding the rate or percent. So from that, so therefore, we'll be having the formula for rate. So the formula is rate equals to percentage over the base times 100. Okay, by the way, I have to explain why we have 100 as a multiplier. We have to multiply by 100. Actually, not percent. Let's exclude the percent. You have to multiply by 100. It is because we need to have our answer in terms of percent. So, di ba pa nag-change tayo ng percent, another method is to multiply the result by 100. Or, the shortcut way na lang is to just simply move the decimal point 2 places to the right. Okay? So, you have to move the decimal point 2 places to the right. So, in our case, so you have percentage divided by base times 100. So that's 29 over 50 times 100. So again, it should be 100 only. 29 over 50 times 100. So therefore, you'll be having 0.58 times 100. Okay. So we have to change 0.58 by to a percent, no? So paano yung gawin natin doon? So you just simply move the decimal point 2 places to the right. Again, take this is only 100. Or in our case here, so since meron kang 29 over 50, so 29 over 50 times 100. So we need to cancel, or we may cancel 150. So 150 are both divisible by 50. So 100 magiging 2, ang 50 magiging 1. So that's 29 times 2, and that's 58, then over 1. So 58 divided by 1 is 58. So therefore, still, we arrive at the same answer, 58. So there are 58% of the chess club are girls. So ganun pa din po, wala tayong problem. Okay. So each method gives us the same answer. So wala pa rin pagbabago sa ating answer. Okay. So hopefully you already understood how to find the rate in the given problem. So let's finalize. For our third lesson, let's find the base in a given problem. So paano nga ba paghahanap ng base? Okay. So let's have this problem. So para makuha natin. Ay, kung talagang sa ibang mga lugar, face-to-face na, no? Ayan, particularly, banggitin ko yung aking alma mater nung ako elementary dyan sa Manila, yung Aurora A. Quezon Elementary School. So sa lahat ng mga teachers and students, ako po ay graduate ng Aurora A. Quezon Elementary School dyan po sa Manila. So mag-face-to-face na daw sila sa December 6. Ayan. So talaga nakakamiss pumasok. Okay. Sana nga mag-face-to-face na tayo soon. No? Anyways, sige. Moving on. So let's have this problem. There are 72 grade 6 pupils in a school. The grade 6 pupils comprise 12% of the total enrollment. Ayan. How many pupils are enrolled in a school? So, syempre, napakalaki ng school. Ha? So, napakadaming students. So, sa isang school daw, there are 72 grade 6 pupils. So, yung 72 grade 6 pupils, yan daw yung 12% ng total enrollment o yung kabuuan ng students. So, ang tanong ay, how many pupils are enrolled in a school? Okay. So, talaga, ang bibilis talaga mag-solve ng ating mga students. Nakita ko na agad may mga nakakuha na sagot. So, ang nauna ay si Henry Stephen Cadapan, ang sabi niya 600 students. Sinunod ni Justin Povita Salazar, 600. James Joseph, 600. Ayan, so 600 pupils. Sinunod na ni Kevin Martin, Nerwin, Carlo Miguel, ayan, and so on. So, 600 nga ba ang tamang sagot? Let us see. So, we will use again the four-step problem approach to answer the problem. So, what information are given? So, obviously, kitang-kita naman sa inyong screens yung ating mga numbers. So, we know that 12% of the total enrollment in the school is equal to 72 grade 6 pupils. Ayan. So, we need to find how many pupils are enrolled in the school. So, we need to find the total number of pupils in the school. Yung kabuuan, yung pangkalahatan. Okay. Now, so dahil nabanggit na rin naman yung word na total or yung pangkalahatan, so obviously we are looking for the base. Okay. So again, we will use different methods to be able to solve the given problem. Ayan. So again, we have method number 1, using the block model. So again, we'll be having a block here. So again, the total number of pupils in the school is equal to 100%. So yun yung pangkalahatan. So we need to determine how many pupils are there. And since there are 72 grade 6 pupils, so that is represented by 12% of the total enrollment. So yung 72 na pupils na yan yung 12%. Ayan. Now, the question is, how are we going to find the number or the total number of pupils? So from that, we will divide 12% by 12, and we will also do the same thing with 72. So we also divide that by 12. So we'll be having 12% of the enrollment, that's represented by 72 pupils. So we need to divide them both by 12. So you have 12% divided by 12, and 72 pupils divided by 12. So that is 1% of the enrollment. That is represented by 6 pupils. So yung 6 pupils, yan lang yung 1% ng total number of pupils. As since we are looking for the total enrollment in the given school, and that is represented by 100% or one whole, so we will need to multiply them by 100. Ayan. So that is 1% of the enrollment, which is 6 pupils. So we multiply them both by 100. So 1% times 100. And you have 6 pupils times 100. So therefore, that's 100% of the enrollment, which is equivalent to 600 pupils. Ayan. So therefore, the answer to our problem is 600 pupils. So there are 600 pupils enrolled in the school. Very good sa inyong lahat. Ang gagaling nyo talaga magsasagot, no? So hopefully you are doing it manually. Okay, let's proceed to the second method, that is using equivalent fractions. So again, 12% can be written as 12 over 100, of course. Kasi nga 12% per 100, so that's 12 over 100. So to solve for the base, we have 72 as our numerator of the fraction, of course, with the missing denominator. So from that, we will be forming a proportion. So katulad na ginawa natin kanina, So, ganito rin gagawin natin. Pero this time, nawawala naman yung denominator. So, that is 12 over 100 is equal to 72 over blank. So, we need to find the missing denominator. So, if you observe the given fractions, we can see that 12 is, if 12 is multiplied by 6, you'll be having 72. And since we multiply 12 by 6, so you will also do the same thing with our denominator. So, yung 100, mamumultiply natin sa 6. So, 100 times 6, that is also 600. So, 600 ang nawawalang denominator. And that's the final answer. Galing. And last method, again, by using a formula. So, if we consider this problem earlier, then we will arrive at this question. 12% of what number is 72? So, 12% of what number is 72? So again, from this question, we can say that 12% is the rate. Of course, what number? That is the missing, that is the base. And 72 is your percentage. Ayan. So therefore, we need to find the base. So again, from the formula earlier, percentage equals to rate times base, we can derive the formula in finding the base. And if we derive that formula to find the base, we'll be having base equals to percentage divided by rate. Or in symbols, that is B equals to P over R. Ayan. So again, from the problem, you have P over R. So that is 72 divided by 12%. And since we need to divide a whole number by a percent, para hindi kayo mahirapan, you may change the percent to decimals. Okay, tayo nag-recall earlier. Diba? So if you change 12% to decimals, that is already 0.12. So that is 72 divided by 0.12 or 12 hundreds. So if you divide that, so for formality, I'll be showing the solution. So if you divide 72 by 0.12, so obviously our divisor is a decimal. So dahil decimal ang divisor natin, so we need to move the decimal point 2 places to the right. So, ganoon din yung gawin natin sa ating dividend. So, we have to move the decimal point 2 places to the right. So, we have spaces. So, let's put 2 zeros. So, magiging 7,200 divided by 12. And if you divide 7,200 by 12, you'll be arriving at 6. 6 times 12 is 72. So, 72 minus 72 is 0. So, you just simply move the 2 zeros up. So, that is 600. And therefore, we have 600 as our final answer. So again, 600 pupils are enrolled in the school. Ayan. So hopefully, naintindihan nyo na po yung ating problem. So that's how to find the base in the given problem. Okay. So again, each method gives us the same answer. Okay, so since magta-time na din, so I think okay, just a quick recap of what you've learned for this session. Remember me? Or let's have a recap. Ayan. So again, percentage is the actual amount that represents part of a whole. So it can be found given the percent or the rate and the whole amount or the base. So again, percentage can be calculated by using the formula P equals to R times B, or percentage is equal to rate times base. So rate is the ratio of the percentage to the base. So that is written in percent. So para matanda ng rate, lagi may percent sign. And to solve for rate, we may use the formula R equals to P over B times 100. So again, this is 100. Next, base, it is the amount representing 100%. Yung totality, yung pangkalahatan niya, no? Or yung kabuuan. So it is the whole from which a percent is taken from. And again, our base is done by using the formula P over R, or percentage divided by rate. So actually, kung hindi nyo malaman yung formula, so I'll be teaching you a shortcut way on how to apply the formula. So you may use what you call the nifty triangle. Ayan. So magdodrawing ka ng triangle. So again, that's a nifty triangle. So I'll just put the letters P, R, and B here. So ayan. So suppose percentage is missing. So what you're going to do, you just cover P. So takpan ko lang yung P. So let's say i-cover ko yung P. So matitira ay R and B. So since magkadikit sila, so that is understood to be multiplication. So P is equal to R times B. Similarly, if rate is missing, kung nawawala naman ang rate, so kunwari tatakpan ko yung rate, so you'll be having this. So yung P nasa taas, yung B nasa baba. So therefore, we can say that rate is equal to percentage divided by base. We just simply multiply that by 100. It is because you are converting our answer to percent. Or, gaya nga ng sinabi ko kanina, you just simply move the decimal point 2 places to the right. And lastly, kung nawawala naman po yung base, you just simply cover the base and you have P on the top and R on the bottom. So that represents B equals to P divided by R. So yun lamang po ang concept ng formula para alam niyo kung paano mag-compute kung nawawala ang percentage, rate, or base. Ayan. And bago tayo magtapos, ayan, meron pa pala. When solving problems, again, you'll to apply the 4-step problem solving approach. Yung understand, plan, solve, and check. Ayan. So again, kung nawawala yung percentage, rate, and base, you may apply that. And, ayan. Okay, for your homework today, for quarter 2, week number 3, you have the problem. I'll be reading the problem. So the problem is this. Sherwin recorded his monthly savings deposit in the bank. He started at 5,000 pesos in January 2020. In the succeeding months, he consistently adds 25% of his monthly standing balance into his savings account. How much will be his total savings in April 2020? So, ayan yung ating problem. So, again, if you read the problem, nagsimula ang pagsasave ng money ni Sherwin ng January, 5,000 pesos. Then, kada buwan, o sa mga susunod na buwan, nagdadagdag siya ng 25% ng kanyang monthly standing balance sa kanyang savings account. Ngayon, ano ang kanyang total savings sa April 2020? So you're going to round off your answer to 2 decimal places. So again, para po sagutin ang problem na yan, if you want to answer this problem at mapabilang kayo sa ating mga solvemates, tulad ng mga binanggit ko kanina or pinarangalan ko kanina, please do upload your solutions and answers to our DepEd ETUlay on FB page using our hashtag Math6 Q2 Week 3. So again, use the hashtag Math6 Q2 Week 3 since nasa Week 3 na tayo. And by the way, also use the hashtag ETUlay level up. So dahil tayo ay level up na, talagang maganda pa rin ang ating mga natutunan sa ating DepEd ETUlay online tutorial. Again, that is our homework for our quarter 2 week 3 for grade 6 mathematics. Finding the rate or finding the percentage, rate, and the base in the given problem. So hopefully, masagutan niyo po yung ating problem for this week. Okay, so before we end, ayan, end na pala. Okay, so that's the end of our lesson and thank you all for watching. Again, if you have any feedback for our DepEd ETUlay, so please do have this QR code scanned. Ayan, nakikita niyo po sa inyong mga screens. So we would love to hear your thoughts or feedback on how we can improve your experience. So hopefully po, makareceive po kami ng positive feedback sa inyo. So muli, hinihiling ko po na pakiscan po yung nakikita yung QR code sa ating mga screens. Okay, so thank you very much for comments and suggestions. Please do email us at edtech@deped.gov.ph. And again, hindi nyo lang kami mapapanood sa ating FB and YouTube pages live. Mapapanood nyo lang kami sa ating DepEd TV via IBC Channel 13 and Signal TV every Monday po. Yes, you heard it right. Mapapanood nyo rin po kami sa TV, hindi lamang sa FB and YouTube. Okay, so muli maraming salamat po sa inyo lahat. So up next, that is Tutor Rose Ann and Tutor Jolly for grade 7 mathematics. So muli, maraming salamat po sa inyo lahat. And hopefully makasama ko na si Tutor Prince next meeting. Tutor Prince, see you next week. So, hope you learned something. Happy Friday. Keep safe and God bless. Maraming salamat. Bye-bye.
Ang husay naman! Natapos mo ang iyong tutorial session kasama ang iyong mahusay na ETUlay tutor. May bago ka bang natutuhan? I-share na yan gamit ang hashtag ETUlay Level Up. Huwag aalis ha, dahil may susunod pang programa na pwede mo ring panoorin at salihan. Dahil naghihintay na ang iyong mga tutors. Happy learning dito sa ETUlay!